So Alex Marr is not just somebody hanging out with the fairies and the neo-pagans. She also hangs out with the OTO, the Ordo Templari Orientis. And I kind of love this picture here of a Gnostic mass. So who are the people she hangs out with? So Josh, the high priest who she talks to, had definitely dabbled in extreme lifestyles of orgies and rituals in his house and crazy music and whatnot. However, after having that sort of antinomian, sort of unexpected lifestyle, he realized that he needed to do more. So he went out into the woods with a friend of his and did a huge invocation, invoking a deity to come down. And that deity was an angel. And he realized, holy crap, I'm just asking for like money and drugs and women. I am wrong. I need to ask for way more. And in fact, he realized that he wanted to be deeper involved with the OTO. So he said, I had my own vision for what an OTO body could be, and I thought I could do a better job than a bunch of yuppies. That was my arrogant way of thinking. You go to an OTO body, it's all yippies and nerds. That's the nature of the thing. Those are the people that stick around a lot. I hear his critique, I feel it myself, but yuppie folk are kind of the key to surviving sociologically. I mean, there are people that do sort of what they call outlaw thelema or cowboy thelema. It's not associated with the OTO. And it's usually because they were just too extreme for the OTO one way or another. Or, as they say, I would not bend the knee. I'm like, maybe bend the knee at this point. Maybe if you're going to join an order, abide by the rules. What are you going to do for that? So, um, where's my point? Yes. So Josh had a really good experience with the OTO, had a great experience. And he had wanted to have more. And he wanted to meet others and incorporate others. What we find is that he is a powerful figure in New Orleans. Now, Alex Marr decides to take a Minerval, which is the first order initiation in the OTO. That means you're in biker club culture. It would be like you're a hang around. You're not actually connected to the order. You're just a hang around. It's called an honored guest. And it's a beautiful ritual to get there. And I'm not going to talk about it. I'm a little upset by how much Marr described that ritual. So the thing about the OTO, the thing about Wicca, the thing about fairy is it depends on your taste. What do you like? There's no accounting for taste. As I bungled around various groups, the OTO just appeals to me. The symbolism, the attitude, it just works. And one contemporary scholar, Lon Maladucat, says, he has a lecture that says, how to be a decent person in a fuck you order. The whole order, the whole attitude of the supreme individual, and I actually don't care for that. It's very much a fuck you order. So how does it work? Well, let's remember the OTO got started around the same time as Scientology. Scientology has billions of dollars. OTO can barely get people to pay their dues to keep the rent open in the temple. So it's the nature of things. They're not money makers. Nobody's making money on the OTO. So Alex Marr takes her Minerval and becomes an honored guest. And she describes a powerful initiation. I'm not comfortable with actually even summarizing what she says. One, I'm bound by oath. That's fine. I don't really care. And she doesn't reveal anything too big, but it is enough for me to feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable reading what she read. Why? One, I'm oath bound, but even more so, I don't want to ruin it for other people. The ritual, and the same thing with Freemasonry or any ritual, you need to be surprised. Like I said, an initiation ritual is a ritual in which you don't know the script. but everybody else around is working off the script. And so telling the secrets, the process, or whatnot, could spoil it for future people that are going to take the ritual. Secrecy, in fact, is not as much about oaths and trials, but it's more about not wanting to spoil the surprise, not wanting to limit the joy and learning of the secret by the person in initiation. Maintaining secrecy is less about restricting information than it is about making information more powerful. By keeping it secret, the ritual becomes more powerful. So she goes into the swamp and wanders for days, and then they do a ritual, and then a whole bunch of stuff happens. So my question is, how committed was she to the OTO? She never learned tarot. She took the Minerval, which is an honored guest degree, but not an actual joining. She doesn't ever learn to do the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, which is a common ritual that I've done for years. She doesn't study the Kabbalah. She never learned the tarot, specifically through the book of Thoth, which is pretty common in these groups. She doesn't really even study the works of Crowley, let alone contemporary Thelema thinkers like Lon Milo Duquette or Dan Gunther, who we've read. She doesn't study any modern writers. So really, yet again, how committed is she to this group? I would say not so much. Toward the end, with the boys in the swamp, she writes, I envy that level of focus, that certainty. I worry that I may be as much of a fog-headed seeker as I was when first pulled up to Morpheus's trailer 5 years ago. I've joined in sabbats in Stone City. I've taken an oath on a sword in front of hundreds of pagans. I've eaten and drunk the sacrament of Aleister Crowley's church. I've trained with Karina and circled with her coven, only to decide that hers were not my people. And now, with Alombros, the Ochia body in New Orleans, not only am I unsure what least at the other or what lies on the other side of these 3 days and nights, but it's unclear to me whether or not there is something to uncover. So in all of this that she's doing, she's still completely doubting and not pulling into any of these communities or the practices. And the question is, why is she unsatisfied? Maybe it's because she's really not joining the community. She's really not living. She's really not doing what the communities do. All right, take a break.